Hello YouTube, NeoPioneer here again. So today's video is response to the Economic Ninjas 10-day challenge. I went ahead and I made my 10 videos, and it was an interesting process. I get why he's asking us to do this. Over 50, like a lot of the Gen Xers talked about as like the forgotten generation. Most of us kind of raised ourselves. A lot of our parents worked, so we were latchkey kids. And in general, we kind of, we're kind of the last generation that was considered like maybe feral, right? Like we pretty much raised ourselves in the neighborhood with our peers. We played outside, we rode our bikes. We came home, and sometimes our parents weren't there, and they were gone in the morning, and they were back for maybe late dinner. But yeah, in general, Gen X has kind of had that that stigma of being the forgotten, stays out of politics and and life and not life, but stays out of politics and all that kind of thing, where their voices aren't really heard. And that needs to change, right? We need to put ourselves out there and start participating in the conversation, especially as the boomer generation is really into retirement and starting to pass away. And I think society in general could benefit from the Gen X perspective. Yeah, and definitely over 50 for myself. I feel like I've lived 3 different lives. My 20s, 30s, and 40s were completely different lifestyles. Definitely seen a lot of things along the way, learned a lot of things, learned a lot of lessons, and in general have a pretty wide skill set. Yeah, and so the industry that I work in, the job that I took, in my 3rd career, I worked with a lot of people right out of college, and it's an interesting thing to go through to see, kind of where they're at, and going back to college in your mid-30s to late 30s, and reading through the textbooks and seeing like the true indoctrination. I mean, people don't like to admit it, but it's there, right? And some of my professors, like they would even admit it, right? Like it's heavily the school system has been taken over, right? That's how you get the minds, right? That's why you go to college, give them the perspective, and they come out. And I met a few, a few of my peers that were kind of awake to that, but they still had that ingrained in them, which is kind of interesting. And we had some interesting conversations, and they could relate to me, but and they didn't just dismiss me outright, but they still had that indoctrination, even though they kind of acknowledged it too in themselves. But yeah, anyway, this process has been an interesting one. It's a good thing. I definitely appreciate the challenge, and you may be seeing more of me. Take care. Bye.